Assalamualaikum and good morning, children. How are you today? I hope you're fine. Let's get started with today's lesson. For today's lesson, we're going to learn about have, has, and had. We're going to find out how to use them correctly. Have is the base form of the verb. This is a type of irregular verb because it has three different forms. Has and had are different forms of the same verb. This verb can be used for various reasons. The first is to show possession. For example, I have a book. Sophie has a blue car. So this example shows the ownership of something. In the first example, the book belongs to me. And in the second example, the blue car belongs to Sophie. The verb can also be used as a helping verb. Helping verbs are verbs that help the main verb by adding meaning of the sentence. For example, I have eaten my dinner. Eaten is the main verb, have is the helping verb. Another example is that Ali has visited the USA. We can use this verb for many reasons, such as to show a relationship, a feeling, an experience, and others. The form of the verb will depend on the subject and the sentence tense. So whether the sentence is in the present tense or past tense. First, let's look at the affirmative sentences. These are positive sentences. If the subject is a plural noun, I, you, we, or they, and the sentence is in the present tense, then we use the verb have. For example, I have 2 pencils. If the subject is a singular noun, he, she, or it, and the sentence is in present tense, then we use the verb has. For example, she has a big school bag. Lastly, for all subject in the past tense, we use the verb had. For example, we had a great time at the party. Now let's do some practice. Fill in the blanks with the missing words. Remember to think of the subject and the sentence tense. You can pause your video while thinking for the answers. Here are the answers. She has 3 children. We had a meeting last week. They have a big house. You have to finish your homework. I had a great time at the event. Now let's go through negative sentences. don't have, doesn't have, and didn't have. Again, we need to look at the subject and the sentence tense. So, if the subject is a plural noun, I, you, we, or they, and in the present tense, then we use don't have. For example, I don't have 2 pencils. If the subject is a singular noun, he, she, or it, and the sentence is in the present tense, we use doesn't have. For example, she doesn't have a big school bag. Lastly, for all the subjects in the past tense, we use didn't have. For example, we didn't have a great time at the party. Now let's do some practice. Fill in the blanks with the missing words. Remember to think of the subject and the sentence tense. You can pause your video while thinking of the answers. Now let's check the answers. I don't have a pet. They don't have a red car. Sam doesn't have brown eyes. She doesn't have any children. He didn't have a meeting yesterday. Now let's look at the correct question structure. The structure will depend on the subject and the sentence tense. So, if the subject is a plural noun, I, you, we, they, and is in the present tense, we use the structure do plus the subject plus have. For example, do you have a pen? If a subject is in singular noun, he, she, it, and the sentence is in the present tense, then we use the structure does plus the subject plus have. For example, does she have a school bag? Lastly, for all subjects in the past tense, we use the structure didn't plus the subject plus have. For example, did they have a good time at the party? Now let's do some practice. Fill in the blanks with the missing words. Remember to think of the subject and the sentence tense. You can pause your video while thinking of the answers. Now let's check the answers. Did they have a good time? Do you have an iPhone? Does she have a water bottle? Do you have to go home? Did he have a headache yesterday? For your task today, please click the link I gave you in your WhatsApp. That's all for today's lesson. I hope you have learned a lot. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.